So hello and welcome to BISP Solutions. In today's webinar is about Fusion Financial Implementation, in which we will do accounts payable transactional process based on use cases of BISP Group. So let's move to the today's agenda. So today's agenda is creating OTBI report, creating BI reports, and creating custom rows. So let us move to the next slide, in which we will discuss the requirement of business requirement. As per business requirement, prepare the payables transactional related time real-time report, that is supplier wise summary, and detailed report consists of supplier name, invoice ID, invoice date, invoice number, invoice type, invoice currency, invoice amount, with drill down from summary to detailed report using drill through to invoice view. Right, so that is the client requirement. So now let us move to the application, how we can perform that particular task. So let us navigate to the application. So let me log in with the credential. So I am logged in with this user credential, right? So let us navigate to from navigator, navigate to tools. Out here, the reports and analyticals. Select that. So this is the BI catalog, and this is the BI composer, right? So the catalog is out here and the composer out here. First we will create a summary, and then we will create a detailed report of supplier as per business requirement. Let us create one analysis. So create analysis. And search with the subject area, that is payables. So I will select as per the business user, prepare the payables transactional real-time report. So let me search, yeah. So this is payables invoice transactional real-time information on invoices, right? So let's select that and continue. Right, we have selected the same. Now this is the subject area, right? So this is the subject area. Under subject area there are dimensions, and these are called dimensions also and folders also. So dimension and folders, and under that folders there are subfolders, and with the subfolders might have subfolders also, but there will be measures and fact measures, right? So let us first select some of the measures. So as per the requirement, let me select the supplier name. Let us go to the suppliers, and let me select supplier name. Let me navigate little bit down, yeah, here we are, supplier, and move to here, and similarly, and supplier side, go to the supplier side. I want address, move out here, and after that address, I want a invoice amount, right? So that will be a summary one, right? So that will be a summary. For that I require amount, and if I go to invoice detail out here, here we are. So these are the measures, right? So these are the measures, and now I will select fact measures. So let us select that invoice amount, right? So that is one of the criteria, invoice amount. Only three things I am selecting out here. This is the summary one, right? So that's why I am selecting the same, and say next, and just take a preview and select as a tabular. Let me select the tabular. The data is, yeah, so it has come. The data has the 3 supplier name with the supply site address, right? So that is the total invoice amount what we have right now in the data. So let me add a graph to that, right? So let me add the graph, take it a pie, right? So let me select that pie. Yeah, it's looking quite good. Yeah, let me select the bar also. Yeah, it is okay, but more appealing I think so is, let me select a below graph, above graph. You can, if you say above the graph, it will be put out here. You can see the graph will be out in the top, and the details will be in lower section before. So you can see the data out here and the graph out here, and after means the data will be out here and the graph will be out here. So let me select the pie. Here we are. So graph is out here, and the details of the supplier is out here, right? So give the title. I give the title name as supplier summary, SUMMA. Let me give the title as summary of supplier summary, SUPPLI, supplier summary, and I will select as next, right? So I will select the next. Everything is okay out here, and the analysis, if you want any prompt you want, right? So you can move the supplier to the prompt, and on the basis of the prompt it will change, right? So I don't want that right now. So only 3 suppliers is there. It's look good. You can do so by selecting the prompt, or selection by, you can group by, you can use that. So I don't want any changes out here. It's look fine. And in the graph analysis, so as a default type, and slices I am selecting as a supplier, and the measures through using the amount, right? So additional layout, you can have an additional layout prompt. You can select a prompt out here, and excluding only 3 measures we have taken. One is the fact measures and 2 are measures, right? So that I am excluding that part, right? So everything is looking great. Say next. Say next, right? So, and then say next. If you want any highlights or something like that, you can do so, right? So you can save this analysis in shared folders. So out here in the shared folders, let me select the custom folder, right? So Oracle recommends to save all your analysis in custom folders. So let me create a one custom folder out here. Let me create a one with the name as supplier detail. Let me say demo supplier detail, right? So let it as demo supplier folder, supplier folder, demo folder, supplier folder. Let's say that's folder, right? So select that demo supplier folder. You can give any name and convention, right? So just hold on, I have not selected that. So select that and out here. So let me select that demo supplier folder. Say OK. Let me search with that, right? So demo supplier folder, here we are. This is my folder. Select that out here, selecting that and submit. Before, I just forgot the analysis name. Let's provide the analysis name with as per requirement is a summary supplier wise summary, supplier wise summary, and I'm providing the same supplier wise summary analysis and submit the same. So we have created a one using Avia. Analysis has been saved successfully. Please current tab, say OK. You can view the report. Avia. Go to the catalog. Let me cancel this. Let me select where we are, demo supplier folder. Here we are. This is the supplier analysis we have done, right? So let us open this analysis. There we are. So this is the analysis we have created, and let us give a bit good look out here. So let me have some let me put some logo out here. So let me select out logo, select that logo and custom image, and I have already uploaded a one logo, that is BISP. So I'm selecting the same and summary report, supplier summary, right? So done with that. Here we are. So we have given the logo out here, right? So that's looking quite good. and supplier summary and supplier wise summary, right? So let me select, just edit that, don't display the name, right? So that will be a supplier summary and supplier summary, supplier details, give a summary supplier wise report, and this is subtitled as summary of supplier, right? So that will be good. And display the date and time, I am selecting the same, here we are, it will look like this, right? So I'm done with that, say okay. Here we are. So the report has been created, and so let us go to the criteria. And the address, supplier, let me, yeah, we are supplier, okay, I'm fine with that. And let us create a one detailed report, right? So save this analysis. Now we will create a one detailed analysis of, so that we will provide a drill down and drill through, right? So both of the component we will cover that in this report. So summary to detail, and through the detail it will drill through to the invoice view, right? So that is the, as per requirement, that is the objective, right? So save that same, go to the results, here we are. So we are done with that. Let us now, we have already saved the same, go to the home, so that is, let me, where we are, supplier wise summary, right? So recent, you can open that, right? So that is the recent one. Let us now, from this folder you can go to the shared folder, from shared folder this is the custom, and out here the custom, the report, we can, the folder, we will go to the demo supplier folder out here, and here is our report, right? So that is our report. You can add this to a favorite, right? So if you add this favorite, it will be out here, you can see the report out here, and from here you can view, edit and more. If you go to the more, so you will land to the same page, right? So analytics part, right? So you can see in the location is shared folder, custom, demo, supplier folder, right? So that is the location, right? So let us create another report using browse catalog, right? So we have already created, let me put this as my favorite, and let us create a OTBI report, right? So navigate from the browser, browse catalog, using the browse catalog. Let us create one analysis, right? So let us create a one analysis. So my subject area I will select as Payables. So my subject area is Payables transaction real time. I am selecting the same. So here we are. These are the dimensions. Under the dimensions there might be, these are the folders, and you can say as folders also, and these are folders, and these are the measures, right? So these are the measures, and out here if you go to this, the invoice amount, so you can see these are the fact measures, right? So these are the amounts, values which are showing are all counts. These are all numeric values are fact measures, right? So you can measure on that. So let us quickly create a one detailed report, right? So let us create a one detailed report. Let me select out here, search from here. First of all, I will select as invoice. Let me search with the name. Supplier name, right? So let us take supplier name, search with that out here. Let me select with that where I got supplier. Let me select with the supplier contact, supplier. The supplier type, right? So supplier number, here we are, supplier site, supplier name, right? I required supplier name. It is not giving me such in a manner which I want. Supplier name, here we are, supplier. Just drag and drop out here, and then I required supplier address. Let me provide the supplier site number. Let me provide this. I think so. This is the name, alright? The address name, and let me provide the supplier. Just select as address. This is supplier site address. This is contact. There we are. Let's select that. Address name, supplier site name and address, right? So that is the address. Now I will select invoice ID. Select that. Here we are, invoice ID. Then I will select invoice ID, and then I will select invoice number, right? So let me select the invoice number, right? area invoice number. Then I will put invoice date, right? So select that invoice date. Invoice date I am selecting out here, invoice number, invoice date. Then I will select as invoice amount, so invoice amount, and so let me select that out here, just drag and drop, right? So here we are, invoice amount. And there is certain other requirement also, right? So let us navigate to that. So we have selected the supplier name, invoice ID, invoice number, date, and invoice type, right? So invoice type, invoice currency, and invoice amount we have taken, right? So let us take invoice type and invoice currency, right? So let us say invoice currency, invoice currency. I selected that same, select the invoice currency and put it out here, right? So invoice currency, let me drag out here, invoice currency, and invoice type, right? So the requirement is invoice type, whether it is a standard or debit note, credit note, right? So that is the TYPE type. So invoice type, yeah, selecting the same and drop it down. So let us select the same out here. Here we are. So supplier, supply site, and general information. Against that, invoice ID, invoice number, invoice date, invoice type, currency, and amount, right? So that is out here. Let me see the results, right? So let us see the results. Yeah, so it is coming out here. So amount is there, and here we are. Let us put a certain criteria, right? So let us put a certain criteria. Invoice, I put a filter out here, right? So invoice should be greater than 0. There should be no 0 value invoice should be there. And let us put a invoice type as, put a one filter more. Invoice type should contain all as standard invoice, right? So let me select the invoice type as standard. It should come, right? It's STANDARD, standard, right? Select that. So that is the standard invoice. And in the supplier, I will provide filter, and out here as prompt, right? So as a prompt out here, and so 3 filters are there, right? So let us see the results. retrieving data, it's taking time. Here we are. So the invoice types are standard, right? So we have interest invoice also, and the previous session, we have created an interest invoice also. So interest invoice will be not there, only standard invoices will be there. So you can see this is all our standard invoices, right? And the address is there, right? So that is the standard invoice, right? So let us provide some title. Let me provide some title out here. Supplier detail supplier wise report, and again I will put a logo out here. So the image I will select out here as my BISP logo out here, select that and insert that image, and I will provide the supplier wise detailed supplier wise report. Subtitle I will not provide any related to that. So let us say done. Here we are, and display the saved name I will say no, and subtitle I will provide say subtitle as everything is okay, right? Save, done. Here we are. So supplier wise detailed supplier wise report. So in that particular, the supplier name, address, this is site address, and this is invoice number and the amount, right? So let us go to the criteria, and we will change the supplier. Go to the supplier column properties, go out there. Let us do some formatting, right? So custom header I will provide column header as name, supplier name, right? So select that, and out here I will say column properties as site, right? So site address, so address I am selecting the same address, or say you can say a site. Just hold on, select that, column properties, go out there, give it a site address, right? So site address, site code, right? Site code I would say site code, invoice ID, it's okay, and invoice number I want to change to say invoice NO, right? So let me say O, right? So NO, and invoice date I would say date, right? So let us quickly do that, right? So invoice date, say okay, and invoice type I would say invoice type name, it is saying I would more prefer to be invoice type, right? So what kind of an invoice type it is? It is a standard invoice, right? So invoice currency I would prefer to say currency, invoice currency. Let's give it a good look. And invoice amount, right? So other things are same, it's okay. Let's view the same in the application. So here we are. the supplier name, supplier site code, invoice number, invoice date, and this, right? So you can do any kind of things basically, right? So this we have created a one analysis, OTBI analysis out here, the detailed supplier wise report, right? Now I want to just move to the criteria again. I want to provide one of the things I want to provide, that is in the invoice number, right? So let us go to the invoice number, go to the properties and the interaction, right? So interaction, I will select as add link. So this will drill through the invoices, that invoice detail, right? So that is the my criteria out here. So let us create one link out here. So add link action, just create a one action, give the text name, so drill through invoice view. I am saying invoice view, drill through invoice view, right? So I am giving the name, and out here I will create new actions. So it will be navigate to web page, right? So let us select that web page, and out here I have already hard code that. So if you go, this is your host name, initial it will be URL, which is your host name, right? So this is the host name, and you can see out here that this is the host name, right? So up to this .com, com, right? So that is the host name, and after that this is the hardcore, right? So this is the hardcore, and define the parameters. Let's give the first, go to the options one. I want to open the new window, right? So select that and provide the parameters, right? So select the parameters. Out here first would be let us view that particular document, right? So let us view that particular document, so it will give you a better understanding. So here we are. Let me close this, just give a more prompt towards that. Just to have here, view invoice detail, drill down from OTBI ad hoc report to payables, invoice and payments, right? So let us select that. So you can drill down. This is the document which is provided out here. So view invoice detail, the target of the page is manage invoices, the view mode, right? So this is the hardcore which we are using. This is the host name, right? It will drill to the manage invoices page where you can view the invoice detail, right? And first parameter is AP invoice, view invoice, right? We will select that same, right? Out here, let us navigate to this invoice view, and I will prompt as AP invoice view, right? So let us and fix the same. If I want to hide that, I can hide that. Select the next parameter, that is I think so view is the parameter. Let me check it out. Yeah, that is the view, and then there is a invoice ID, right? So let's copy that and view Let's select the view and I will say AP, let's see, view, invoice view, and fix that, add that, and out here I will select invoice ID, right? So we will select as column, and from column value, this is the invoice ID, right? We have selected that, right? Select the same and say OK, and say OK, and the action link, we have taken the action link, right? So enter actions, say OK. Now go to the result. Just hold on. Result. We should save this analysis. Let us save this analysis. Let us save this analysis, and we will save this analysis in demo folder, right? So give the appropriate name, that is supplier wise detail, and analysis, detail analysis. Just provide that and say OK. Go to the result. Here we are. So let us click this hyperlink, drill through the invoice view. So this is the action parameters. We have not hidden that particular one. Let us execute the same. Here we are. We are landed in the proper page, and the invoice number, let me go to this advertising one, right? So this is the invoice number. Let me check it out. This is the invoice number, right? So, and amount is this, right? Right, exactly. So we are landed in the same page, and right, so we have created a one analysis, and drill through we have applied, and save this analysis, and we will provide go to the another analysis, go to the catalog again, so supplier wise summary, right? So let me go to the supplier wise summary. I will provide a drill down one analysis to another analysis. So I'll go to the criteria. Let me go to the criteria. So this is the summary one, and in the supplier I will column properties, interaction, and I will put a one action out here, again selecting the add action out here, and detail view I would say, and out here in the action I will select navigate to BI contents, right? So I will select the BI content, and out here it is asking for that particular analysis, to which analysis it should navigate to, right? So let us create just select that detail one, right? So we are in the summary, select the detail one, say OK. Here we are, shared folder demo, right? So if you hover out here, so you can see the shared folder, custom demo supplier folder, supplier wise detail analysis. Any options, go to the options. If you want to open the separate, I would say no. Yeah, let's open that, right? So let us do that. Say OK. Say OK. Let us say OK again, right? So we have also applied a prompt, right? So let us provide the same out here. Here we are. I want to I got the summary, right? So I got the summary. So graph is coming, it's taking a bit of time. Yeah. So I want a advanced crop detail of this particular amount. I will put detail view. Let me go to the detail view. So you can see only the advanced crop detail is there, right? So no other detail is there, right? So that is the analysis and this is the drill down, and let me select the detail. Linking between the two analysis, right? So here we are, a detailed view of the analysis, right? So this is how we can create analysis, and we can navigate one analysis to another analysis as per the requirement, as per business requirement. We have prepared the payables real-time report with supplier wise summary and detailed report. Consists of supplier name, invoice ID, invoice number, date, currency, invoice amount, with a drill down from summary to detailed report and drill through to the invoice view, right? So that is way we have done. So, and out here in the detail you can view the invoice view, right? So let us select that, execute that, so you can view the invoice, right? So that is the invoice line we are navigated. So we are done with that. Now move to the next topic, that is, let us move to the PPT. So what is the next requirement? As per business requirement, create custom role of junior accountant as a payable invoice supervisor with restriction with reports and analyticals region. He can't go to the reports and analyticals. Let us how we can create a custom rule in Oracle Fusion. So let us move to the Fusion application. Let us close all the windows out here. So from the navigator, from here, let us navigate to the security console, right? From navigator, under tools, security console, go to the security console. So role is accounts payable invoice supervisor, right? So that is the role. Let me search with that role. Accounts payable. Here we are. This is the role, accounts payable invoice supervisor, right? So let me select that, and out here, from here, copy the role. I copy the role, right? So I will use that. I will not inherit the role, right? So I will copy the role. I will shallow copy. I will do the shallow copying. And as per the rule provided, it is saying junior accountant, right? So as per the requirement is junior accountant payables invoice supervisor. Let us give the name as JR, junior supervisor, and I would provide as JR underscore, let me JR underscore, I will not say GSC, right? So say next. Let me select this and restrict that, delete that, right? So maintain the reports and analyticals region. I will delete that. As per the requirement, I will say next. Next. Other things will remain as same. I will say next. And I will add the user from here. I can add the user I have already created. Let me select the user name as Tim Cook, I think so. That is the name of the user, Tim Cook. Tim, Tim, C-O-O-K, Cook. Here we are, Tim Cook. And add to the user. Cancel that. Next, and submit, right? So if you go to the administration, role status, so it's processing. Let's refresh that. The status should be completed. Here we are. Go to the user, search with Tim Cook. This is the username, and let me open that user. So here we are, junior accountant payables, that we have created, right? So that we have created right now, and done. I will provide the data access, right? So role I have given, the data access I have to provide, right? So go to the setup and maintenance, from setting and action, and provide, we have functional areas, financials. Let me provide data access for users, right? Select that, and manage data access for users. So select the manage data access for users and add out here, that is Tim dot Cook, right? Tim Cook with the role as one role, junior payables invoice security context as business unit, and that is BISP Solutions Miami, right? So save and close, and search with that data, that is tim.cook, right? So select that, search with that. So you can see that Tim Cook got only one role, that is security context is business unit, and got the access of BISP Solution Miami, right? So after providing the rules, we have to navigate to the schedule processes. Let us navigate to the schedule process. As you know, we have to run LDAP, right? So that is LDAP job we have to run. Schedule new process, schedule new processes, select that, and say LDAP, LDAP, right? Select that. Retrieve latest LDAP changes. Say OK. Submit the same. Go to the hierarchy. So it is waiting, ready. It's got blocked. So it has been provided, and so I think so you have learned about how to create a custom rule, right? So that's it for today, and thank you. Thanks for joining this webinar on AP related transaction process in Fusion application, and have a great day. Thank you all.